Welcome in, guys, to the RXFL recap show. We're going to hit you with a little bit of comments on the side of the screen. So if anyone wants to come in these next couple of minutes, probably be about a 10-15 minute stream. If you want to comment with us, please do. And as it says at the bottom, subscribe on Twitch, follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. Do all those different things. We are going to recap Week 15. We just streamed 3 consecutive games. I think we went like 3.5 hours with you guys because I started streaming at 6:30 and it's almost 10 o'clock right now. So we're going to recap what we saw. We're going to go through all the scores and we're going to preview Week 16, look at some of the standings as well. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at what we saw in week number 15, a pretty pivotal week as we saw quite a few teams get bumped from playoff contentions. That game closer than it had more business being, but the Mexico City Golden Eagles continue their winning ways. They're looking for a first-round bye in the postseason. They get the win over the Voyagers. North Florida, they're going to get their win, their 4th win of the year as they knock off the Tennessee Oilers. This one you guys saw streamed previously. Low-scoring battle, St. Louis Rhinos as the Wolverines. They lose 5 in a row. Goodness me. Orlando Wizards. This was a defensive slugfest here. They get the 8-point win over the Philadelphia Benjamins. That might end the Benjamin season right there. Another tight contest between a really good team and a not-so-good team. The Lancers, they survive. They get the 3-point win over the Salt Lake City Elks. Blowout here, Dublin. They needed that a week ago. Dublin taking down the New England Nightmare 38-10. This one is a shocker. Boy, oh boy, the last time. I think that's 2 bad losses for the Mutiny, is it not? Back-to-back. The last time we saw these two teams play, it was over at patreon.com/tvsports27. Hello, Mr. Maple, Justin Russell, Jonathan Harrigan, K. Duckman. Thank you for being Patreon subscribers. The last time we saw these two teams go at it over on Patreon, it was a blowout. The Mutiny destroyed them. The Egyptians pull off the shocker over the Tampa Bay Mutiny. My goodness. High-scoring battle here. The New York Shamrocks knock off the Lamar Jackson-led Toronto Huskies by 4. And here's another shocker as well. In the battle of Aaron Rodgers and Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers gets the 4-point win as the 3-win Las Vegas Firebirds defeat the top division-ranked Columbus Aviators. We've had quite a few upsets. The San Francisco Demons in this West Coast battle get the win over the San Diego Aftershock by 3. We have the Portland Lumberjacks who continue their winning ways with a pretty dominant victory over an 8-win Dallas Desperados squad. This one close to the Armadillos survive Patrick Mahomes and the Brooklyn Beats by 7. And you guys just saw all of these games play out here on YouTube. You can check all of these games if you want to see these tightly contested games in the archives on YouTube. So quick look at the standings, man. Things are going to be really, really interesting now, I think, going in to this new week. So now we can add 5 teams to the postseason. The Portland Lumberjacks, number 1 ranked at 13-1. The Austin Armadillos at 11-3. Mexico City at 11-3. Also there, the London Monarchs at 10-3-1 have clinched, and the LA Kiss at 10-4. So quarterbacks led right here. You got the great 4 Super Bowl champion Terry Bradshaw. You got 2-time Super Bowl champion John Elway. You got who is Slingin' Sammy with the Golden Eagles, Mike Vick, and Russell Wilson, who is also a Super Bowl champion. So you can see that loss kept the Mutiny out of the postseason. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's go into the American Conference, and you can see if the season ended today, the Lancers would be in. You would think a Week 16 victory gets them in the postseason. The Redwoods, who were just cruising away, they have lost 4 games in a row. The Redwoods were 8-2. They are now 8-6. They could drop out of the postseason. And you got the Celtic Tigers, who just had that bad blowout loss last week. They could be looking to sneak into the postseason. and you got the London Bulldogs, who might be making a run. The defending league champions, Patrick Mahomes, and they were formerly the Eclipse. They still have an outside shot, and so do the Shamrocks here. Of course, the Sting, the Voyagers, the Oilers, the Cheetahs, the Nightmare, and the Elks. They are out of the mix, but my goodness, this what was the score of that Celtic Tigers game? It was a big old blowout, right? Because they were not able to stop the rushing attack. Let's look real quick. Because we're here. Why not? We're doing the recap. We can do whatever we want. League schedule. It was week 14. And it was against the Lumberjacks. So it wasn't that much. They ended up making it closer. But yeah, my goodness. So outside shot for a lot of those teams still in the mix. So that was the American side of thing. Let's look at the national side of thing. And it's still anybody's game. It's LA night game, but it's anybody's game here, as there's still 4 spots to be had. You got the Tampa Bay Mutiny, the St. Louis Rhinos, the Chicago Wolverines, and then down below, the Aviators and the Dallas Desperados. You got Tom Brady and the Dirty Birds trying to make a run. The Benjamins took that loss. They're still outside looking in. The Demons trying to make a bit of a run here after a slow start to their season. The Aftershock still alive as well, but you can say goodnight the Cougars, the Egyptians, who have won 2 in a row. Good for them. The Orlando Wizards, the Las Vegas Firebirds, who I'm still shocked at the win, and the Toronto Marshals down at the bottom. So let's break it down by division. See the Monarchs running away with that one. South as well, going for the Armadillos. Here's where it's interesting, because the Celtic Tigers, they still have an outside shot, as do the New York Shamrocks. So Toronto's got to get going here. In the West as well, the LA Kiss have clinched, and the Lancers and the Redwoods still a battle right there out west. In the North, it's the Golden Eagles, and here you see, boy, it was 9-0 at one point for the Chicago Wolverines, and you see the -5. They're third place now in their division. After a 9-0 start, they are now third place. Insane right now. In the South, this one is interesting because the Mutiny haven't clinched yet. You got Tom Brady and the Dirty Birds that can still make this thing happen. That could be interesting in the South. Over in the East, it's completely up for grabs. The division title between the Aviators, the Desperados, and the Philadelphia Benjamins is any one game. That's what we got to be looking at in Week 16, and this one is all but wrapped up. The San Francisco Demons and the San Diego Aftershock are hoping for a potential wild card berth. So that is kind of where we all line up there in the standings. So we'll do a quick one more run through of just kind of what we got going here. You guys can take a look. You can pause if you want to slow it down and look at some of the action, but it is it's coming down to it, folks. So let's preview. We're going to look at all the stats as well at the end of the season. We kind of did a quarterly release previously. Here we go. I was going to say, why are we seeing this? Let's see what we got here. Any big news? Any big news? Let's see. Looks like Terrell Davis is back. Maybe we could look at injuries. Maybe you can see that, because we did lose. We lost O.J. Simpson in the game with the Atlanta Dirty Birds. So where the heck? Okay, I was like, where are injuries? Injury reports. Let's just take it the whole league. Let's look at the whole league's injury report here as we're going into this pivotal Week 16 between clinching teams. Oh, you can't just look at every team in the league? Oh my God, in typical Madden fashion, they got to make it confusing. Well, let's see what happened. Yeah, OJ and Curtis Martin, both out of there. So that's why it was Icky Wood. So Brady is going to have to go at it with without most of his running backfield, right? It's going to be a tough uphill battle for Tom Brady to do this. You know, Icky Woods is still there, but we'll see what happens here. A lot of injuries there. I wish I could go through all of them, but Madden, they don't allow it. They just don't allow it. All right, schedule time here. Let's look at Week 16, and let's see what games we got coming for you. So there is Thursday night, there is Monday night. So Thursday night is going to be the Wizards and the Wolverines. So the Wizards are out of the postseason. It'll be good to see the Wizards because it'll be only our second time playing with them. I think 3. We did another simulation, but for the Chicago Wolverines on Thursday night here, it's getting to be do or die for them. They do not want to have the embarrassment of a 9-0 start and missing the postseason. This is a must win and should be an easy win against the down Orlando Wizards squad. This one on Monday night, you got 2 teams that aren't in the playoff mix. Do we flex this game? Do we kind of just do a little flex? Because, this is the Monday night game, but it's not a very good Monday night game. You guys let me know. Do you want to see it? Do we flex in another game? This one is a must play, and that's going to be your Patreon exclusive game, patreon.com/TBSports27. Desperados and the Philadelphia Benjamins with postseason on the line. Let's see if we can find a flex game here. No, both of those teams are out of the postseason. Whew. Even though both of these teams have the season clinched, this could be a potential championship matchup right there in separate conferences, I believe. I think we got to play it. I think we got to play Portland and Mexico City just because that's such a big game. Beats and Aviators could be a big one. Armadillos and Lancers as well. That's 2 top teams looking at it. Oh, man, the Rhinos and the Mutiny. That has playoff implications written all over it. Okay. So I think we're going to scrap the Monday night game. No Monday night game this week. It's not a good one. We're going to flex it. We're going to flex it out. So I think for sure, because those are your 2 top teams in the league, Mexico City and Portland, whether it ends up being a conference championship or a league championship, I think we got to do it. I got to look at my 4 o'clock games and see. We got, this one is a must play. Mutiny, Rhinos, everything on the line with that one. That one doesn't really have any playoff implications. This one sort of does with the London Bulldogs. Egyptians, Dirty Birds does, but Egyptians aren't really in the mix here. The Elks and the Shamrocks, you got the Nightmare and the Demons. Demons have some playoff implications. I think this is your other playoff implication game. Ooh, and are the Celtic Tiger... Ugh. Maybe we simulate some of these games. What do you think, guys? Do we simulate some of them? Because this one has big implications, too. This one, the Dublin, I mean, the Kiss are in, but for Dublin, it's kind of playoff importance. These 2 are both somewhat out. Aftershock still have an outside shot. What do you guys think? Celtic Tigers and Kiss or Redwoods Huskies? I think Redwood Huskies, just because I think that's more of your outside playoff shots. So I think that's going to be the schedule. We get rid of Monday Night Football. We do Lumberjacks, Golden Eagles. We do Mutiny and Rhinos here for the 4 p.m. game. There's a debate because playoffs are on the line there, but I think ultimately we go with the Redwoods and the Huskies because both teams are on that playoff hunt, the playoff beat, and then, of course, Wizards and Wolverines, and then the big one, Desperados, Eagles. 17 is going to be interesting because I don't think we don't have any Thursday night and we don't have any Monday night games. So that's going to be where we can just kind of pick, do we do an extra little preview here? It's going to ruin our Week 17 preview. That could be a playoff implication game right there, Mutiny and Wolverines, potentially there for the Huskies. That one, no playoff contention. That could be a big playoff game we want to keep our eyes on. That one will not have playoff implications. Possibly there for the Aviators, possibly, depending on what happens. Aftershocks and Shamrocks could be in the mix. Maybe the Beats in the mix as well. Desperados, that can have some playoff implications. As for the Demons and the Benjamins, my goodness. Dirty Birds might have some playoff looks. It's going to be hard to pick. This one won't have any playoff implications to it. This one shouldn't as well because I think the Armadillos have already clinched. This one could have playoff implications, could for the Redwoods as well. And then if we did want to do the Sunday night game, Dublin and London could have playoff implications. So it's going to be tough to pick from here, and we might even just simulate some of them. So my goodness, that's what it's going to be, guys. Do come on back. Chicago Wolverines and the Orlando Wizards. That's what's going to kick off Week 16. We're getting down to the stretch here in the RXFL. Playoff teams right around the corner. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be good stuff. Thanks for tuning in today. We streamed now almost 3 hours and 45 minutes with you guys, so we appreciate it. Follow on Twitch. Follow on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. And check out patreon.com/TBSports27. Appreciate your support, guys.